Hello, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I'm really extremely sorry for this delay, and I'm so sorry. There was some technical issue this morning related this screen sharing option. Maybe because there was some new update in the whole system. Not sure. So it was a total confusion for me. So just managed to sort it out. So sorry for the delay and sorry for the change in the timing. Now let me see if everything is working everywhere perfectly. So give me a minute's time, please. Let me see if everything is working everywhere perfect. All right, I think everything is good, and just need to copy few steps. And otherwise, I would like to ask now today. In fact, the session is going to be focusing on um, how do you take a picture, specifically if the subject is going to be in the inside the bush. So we are all into wildlife photography, and when it comes to most of the subject, specifically if you're going to focus on cats, you will be able to see them a lot inside the bushy area. So how do you approach it, or how do you take it as the key over here? One second, once again, switching profile. And so I have added some images to start with. Habitat is important when it comes to wildlife photography. So it's not a problem in case if a leaf or a grass blade or a bush is in front of a subject. You can think about adding that subject or adding that background element um, to the subject, and then see how you can frame it and do it. So that's the idea behind the whole thing. To start with, we'll give it with this particular image of a lion cub. So this is from uh, it was from my head is not working this morning. I think which pride it was. Scarface Pride, which is unfortunately, even though this was very, very, very close to me as a person, very cute cub, but it looked like he lost his life in some kind of battle, maybe another lion or maybe something else. But anyway, before it in May, or not in May, February, he kind of. Uh, we haven't seen him after February, so that means he lost his life in some of the incidents in Mara. So now, playing hide and seek with the cub, kind of. So it is kind of a playing hide and seek with the cub. I think almost there were around 3 to 5 cubs in this particular pride, but almost everybody lost the life. Only one or two somebody survive, I guess. But again, it's almost May, almost 3 4 months is months are over. So I don't think these guys managed to make it, especially this one. There, there were two of them in the same age group. The first one, yes, lost in January itself, and the second one kind of vanished when it was around February towards the end. Now, even if you're going to keep that story aside, when it comes to this, here it's not just about showing the whole subject as a in whole. You can just show the eyes, you can just show a part of the tail, you can just show a part of the ear, and tell a story. So don't worry in case if there is anything more than, or if you're thinking a leaf in the front is kind of disturbing the frame or disturbing the picture. That's not a problem, because these guys are not going to be all the time in the opens. So adding a little bit of habitat definitely adds more value into the picture. going further. Okay. This is Luluka's cub. As you can see, uh, it was hiding inside. The mother dropped the cub next to this cavity of the tree, and she was about to go to hunt. So the mothers and the young ones definitely do have a great connection. And this cub was kind of trying to look where the mother is going, and all he could, or he, or not she, he could see was only us. And it was looking towards us. And the place where we were positioned was right in front of this cavity of the tree. And so we managed to get this whole thing. But in case if you were thinking that you have all these things in front of the twigs and the leaves and the foreground and the layers of foreground in the picture, then you will end up losing the moment. What you need to see is how can you frame it properly. So here we are going to talk about a story. Talking about the story is very, very important. Connecting the subject along with its environment is very important. So this was another fact. There was another approach. You instead of over here, I was using a 400 mm 2.8. Instead of that, if I was using a wide angle, I'm not sure to what extent. I'm still not able to picturize how it is going to be. The whole tree and then the bushes around and this fellow coming through that particular opening of the cavity, popping his head out or trying to see the head out was another option. But somehow in that excitement, I couldn't manage to think about another, shifting the gear or taking other one. So use whatever you have, whatever gear you have, and try to see whichever gear you're using, and try to see how can you include this into the frame. Going further. See, again, going vertical and horizontal is another important thing. The previous one was a vertical, a horizontal one, and this one I went directly on a vertical. So both will give you an option. These all are full frame images, no cropping, nothing, just a bit of color correction. I'm not saying that adding or doing a dramatic correction is bad or anything like that. But in this case, definitely it's only the very basic 2 minutes color correction is what we have done over here. So the point or the topic for this particular today's session is all about adding the habitat, and it's absolutely okay to use or shoot when it is in a bushy background. The next one, same one on another day. So when you know the territory of a leopard, that is the plus point. You know where they will be in most of the time, and if the mother is around, they will be playful. All you need to do is look through the bush and see how can you add the bush as a element inside the picture. So in this case, I was just keeping the foreground, and there were what you are seeing as the colors, the orange, yellow, and the slight green or light green shade of it. It is all from the foreground. Maybe a bit of dry leaves and different colors of the yellow leaves and dead leaves. So that's what you are seeing in the front. So keep a note and see how you can show a little bit, and especially if you're showing the eyes, definitely it can add more value. See the way you can frame it. Same one, once again, going vertical and horizontal and looking for the right moment will help you in many ways. So here, when we saw this particular frame, when we saw this particular fellow kind of playing around in that area, the only thing I wanted or I was waiting or praying was this fellow to pop his head below this gap, where the vine is going, as well as where the leaf is there in between, putting his head up over there and just looking through us. I do see a couple of messages over here. As Hermes is busy in Mara, I am in charge over here. And this morning, starting with a technical issue on StreamYard, I got totally freaked out. We had to push all this stuff. So I'm really sorry. Once again, my apologies for the delay. And I see a couple of messages. So I shall definitely answer everything towards the end if that's okay. What else is there? Yeah. So look, whenever you are in the field, all you need to do is look for the right moment. Try to see how you can frame it. So in the bush, the main trouble is getting the focus right. So if you're finding the focusing is difficult, my suggestion will be completely get into manual focus. That will help to solve to some extent your issues. So that is another option or another thing which you can think about, because if the grass is tall or if it is completely in a bushy area, getting the focus can be slightly tricky at some time. What else is there? The next one, yeah, this was again a very difficult situation. What you are seeing in the red towards the right hand side, the corner where if you can see the where my cursor is, that is actually a piece of meat, and this is Lulu cub along with her cub. If I'm going to make this as full screen and try to see if I can show you the details. So it's the cub and the leopard in completely a darker area, and thankfully the light was falling into only to that meat that is once again not photoshopped or not added any kind of particular effect or anything, but to some way because through that bushy area, the light was directly falling into that meat. That was the reason for that highlight. Once again, I definitely need to work on the shadows over here to bring out more of the image into the picture, or more of the two leopards into the picture. So all these are opportunities because these guys belongs to the nature, and a leopard means their habitat is nothing but bushy areas. So you really need to show them in the bush, not in the open ground. That is my suggestion. Helping Luluka with food selfies. Yeah, kind of. Then what is the next one? Is going to be this is Lorian. Lorian is Lulu's mother. The fun part in Mara during my last visit was Lulu as well as Lorian was having a good time with their cubs. So Lorian's cub is actually slightly more smaller than Luluka's cub. So both of them give us some amazing moments. So this is once again compared to Lulu's cub in the beginning. Lorian's cub was slightly more shy. So always behind the bush. Once again, using the bush as a creative element is the key over here. To give them, you really, especially if you are sporting a leopard cub, and initially on the very first few days or weeks, the cubs will be very, very shy, very well, quite scared about the surroundings. So the moment you start your vehicle or the trigger press, all these things can trigger the cub. So you need to make sure you are approaching the subject with care and without making much noise. That will definitely help the cub to get that confidence in you. So that's another point I would like to make over here. Going further, this was the Blackrock Pride's two of the guys on a rainy day. We were and one or two of them were mating, and it was pouring rain, and these two were kind of resting behind or between the bush to escape from the rain, I guess. And that's when we shoot it like this. So the idea once again is to show the eyes, and these are the things which work mainly or more better in better when it comes to print, and that too large size print is the idea. More of an exhibition material, not for the small screen to be honest, but to show you how you can add it. So I was keeping a higher aperture to give the details of the surroundings, and kept the focus on the eyes of the lion who was hiding inside the bush, and you got another lion in front of the main in front of this particular lion. So the composition as well as the story was kind of visible. um, the idea was to again show them their behavior and the character while you are in the bush. Now, what's the next one is going to be? See, it is going to be the same, even if it's whether it is going to be early mornings or late in the evening. Here, it was early morning. The grass was quite tall, and this is Morani along with his girlfriend. The one in the back is his girlfriend, and getting when the lighting condition is low, the trouble is going to be once again the focus. And when in tall grass, getting the focus right is the key. So if you are finding it difficult to get the focus, you can always think about trying to get into manual. And this is again an example for rim light. So what you can do is underexpose, that is one thing. Keep the Kelvin slightly on the higher side to get that golden tint, and the source of the light should be behind the subject. That way you can get the outer line properly. Underexpose it, keep the Kelvin on the higher side. If you're finding it difficult to get the focus, then try to focus on the edges. That will definitely help. And manual focus definitely is another option to get the focus right. Going further, yeah, if the previous one was 3 stop, over here is going to be 5 stop. So the more you are playing with the light, you will be able to see it with more clarity, or the subject is going to be more darker and only the outline is going to pop up. The key when it comes to low lighting condition and when the grass is tall is going to be getting the focus proper. So you really need to do a little bit of trial and errors. And in my case, I really feel that if you're going to keep your focus on the edges of the subject, that definitely helps. Going further, yeah, this was again Lorien's cub on the right hand corner, and she was the mother was not around for almost 2 days continuously. And that's when we spotted the cub, and she was fearless as she was jumping from one tree to another tree. I mean, moving from one tree or moving from one branch to another branch. And when it was pouring rain, all she was doing was just being in that one particular position, didn't even shook her body, and she was just waiting there and looking at us. So this is what happened. In this particular case, again, getting the right position is very important, and getting the focus right is important. The lighting condition was extremely low. That was one side. And then, yeah, looking at it, getting that eyes and the whisker sharp. So whenever you are shooting a leopard, what you can think is keeping the focus on the whiskers definitely helps. Leopard's whiskers are quite bold and strong. So the moment you lose the focus on the whiskers, then the whole stuff you will feel that the soft whiskers on top of the face, and that makes it look like quite weak. So you feel like the image is not sharp. So you need to keep an eye on that, and make sure that the subject, specifically if you're talking about leopard, keeping the focus on the whiskers help you to get a feel that the subject is in focus. And if it is going to be a cheetah, you can think about keeping the focus on the tear marks. That helps to get the focus faster. because of the sharp color difference that helps the camera to get the focus faster. Now, once again, another example of getting the subject in the grass. This was quite a difficult task, even though it looks like there is no clutter in front of the subject. This is Bahati's. Yeah, I think this is Bahati's cups, and there were two of them. One was extremely shy. This was quite okay. But then the task was getting the focus through this bushy plane and getting the face proper. This one was quite peculiar. The face was quite longer, and the ears were slightly more lengthier. So for me, I kind of find it, each leopard when you see, or each cub when you see, it is going to be, it's kind of different. Uh, every cub, even if you are going to see the cub, you can see the whiskers are going to be a part of them. That's their sensing mechanism to see, check the surroundings. So of course, yes, whether it is a young one or an old one, the whiskers will be there. Once again, playing with the cub. This is Lulu's cub. So see what it is doing. It's a young one just trying to practice around the bushes, and it was extremely difficult to get the focus proper because of the surroundings and because of the fast movement of the subject. So in situations like this, your experience definitely help you to get the focus proper. And to get the framing proper. I was keeping it uh, on a vertical frame to show the total surroundings with a lot of foliage around. The same thing on the same day, but you can see it's a different action. It was right before she lost the control of the grip over the particular branch, and this is what we got. So the cubs are always playful, and you always get an opportunity to get some amazing moment. Then what else is there? The same day, playing in the light was another key over here. You see the backlit, and you see how busy or how the surroundings is. It definitely shows the complete uh, the com- the the actual habitat of a leopard, where you see the bush, where you see the tree, and where you see the mother in action. And thankfully, the light was perfect and beautiful, and got a chance to get the at least the beginning of the action. I was using a 70-200 mm over here, and she was almost about to jump on it. I didn't expect her to move that fast. It was my miscalculation. This is 70-200 mm at 70. So you can imagine it was a crazy, crazy stuff. But it was amazing, and this particular day was extremely playful. Events, we saw something amazing, amazing when it comes to these two. Once again, low lighting condition, your camera play a major role. You always have the option to keep your uh, uh, ISO is slightly on the higher side without noise. If you're thinking about noise uh, as an option to add as an artistic element, that's different. But otherwise, it is a different option together. Going further, this is one of my favorite from that particular actor. So the whole idea was to dream, not even idea. The whole dream was to get these two of them on top of that log and get that image. When we were on this place in the morning, when I saw this particular log, all I was talking about was getting this particular fellows, two of them together on top of the log and looking at us. Thankfully, the same way things happened, and they both came from the other side and walked on top of that log and looked at us, and it you won't even believe it is Mara, because when you think about Mara, the kind of habitat or the colors what get into your head is going to be completely different than this. So thanks to my guide Philip over there on that day. He spotted this, and there was only one position for the vehicle, and we managed to get that position, and managed to get this particular shot too. I was literally on, you're dreaming about something and we're talking about something. Of course, it's a matter of behavior study as well, but then still, there were so many 30, 20, 30 vehicles, and you getting the right spot and getting the moment is like a beautiful blessing for me. So that's what happened on this day. Um, so yeah, I think things or key elements what I would like to highlight once again over here is when it comes to wildlife photography, try to keep an eye on the habitat. It is very very important, and um, adding the habitat to a picture is very important. The difficult parts are going to be um, getting the focus and getting the frame right. Photography is nothing but thinking a lot in line with frames. So think about frames, and it is important. And think about how can you get it proper. That is another thing too. So get the elements. Get the frame, and get the foreground elements and the background element. All these things are going to be important, so think about all these things. And um, don't think the background is going to be a negative thing for your frame. It is going to be a positive one. You are showing the habitat, so you don't have to think it as a negative element. Habitat destruction is the major issue when it comes to conservation as well as the whole world. So the more habitat you show in an image, that always help to pass a positive message. So think about it, and do our best to protect our planet Earth. So that's the idea today. We have a series of. Now, let me see if I have some questions. I see. Hi, Sinto. I don't have to ask anything. The knowledge is imparted. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sinto. And thank you so much, Sharavanan Balan Punnaswamy. It's beautiful seeing after a long time. Hello. Yeah, it's been a while after the 365 tales. I'm just popping my head only when it comes to Paws Trails webinars. Thank you so much for remembering me. Hope you all are doing good. Playing hide and seek with cubs, cubs are amazing. You will not even know how the time pass when you are with them. Uh, Rajendra, hello. Perfectly merged in the environment. Yes, these guys, when they are inside the bush, it's so difficult to spot them. So your guide and his experience definitely play a major role when it comes to wildlife photography. So every time you're going to the field, your main job is look around and see where these guys are, and see how can you take a picture of them without losing their soul, which is their habitat. uh, Lately could manage to find them. uh, um, that's great, thank you so much. uh, Hello Atul, and Sharavan and Balan Punsan. Yeah, I mean that particular one you're talking about, I think it is Lorient's cup popping its head through the bush. That was with cubs in my previous trip in Mara, was really amazing. I got some spectacular moments. Helping Luluka with food selfies. Yes, I was doing that. I wish she could see the image and give me a pat on my shoulder. But her pat will be too strong, or my shoulder will be too delicate for that. Is there any feature? There is a feature of your photography in Madhubhumi. It's marvelous. I have no idea about all these things. Yes, I heard I mean, someone shared one which was in one of the Manorama or Vanita this time. Someone shared it with me. The funny part is this interview was taken in 2014, and I happen to see it now. I think they published it or republished it now. With Madhubhumi, I haven't seen it, so I'll check it. But thank you, Radhakrishnan. Thank you so much for the update. Uh, Khalid, hello. Is there any photo to be updated on Facebook? I haven't updated any of these photos to be frank. Some of them, yes, some of them I haven't. But then while I was doing the 365 tales, yeah, it was kind of sharing almost every photo on a daily basis. But other than that, I was not doing anything. uh, um, but yes, definitely at some point I will be updating all the shots in Facebook too. Some of them, yes, it's already done. Some it's still pending. Of course, this is a censoring mechanism for them, the whisker. So, including the young ones will have it. Such a huge paws will help them to climb the branch. Yes, leopards are quite strong, especially when it comes to their jaw. They can actually carry weight more than them up on the tree. So, their jaw as well as their build is quite strong. Nice post, Mr. Leopard. It's, I think, Mrs. Leopard. It's most of the leopards what we have seen today are females, so it's more on the Mrs. side rather than Mr. side. All right, so that was all about today. Habitat and photography. The thing is, you really need to think about keeping the focus on the subject. If you're finding difficulty in focusing, then you can use manual focus. That's one thing. Other than that, think about adding every element in the frame to the picture so that that can help the viewer to connect more with the nature and accept it as a part of the picture. That's important. Then what else is there? I think I kind of covered almost everything which I was thinking about. I'm extremely sorry for the time change. There was some technical error with my system. I don't think it was the StreamYard platform's issue. I think it was my system. It's kind of acting weird since last couple of days. So I'm sorry for that. Otherwise, I think it's all well, all good. I hope COVID and its shades of COVID is kind of still the same across the world. So my suggestion on that note to everybody is get your vaccination done. That's very important. You need to take care of yourself and the rest, the people as well. That's very, very important at this point of time. So please do that. Stay safe. Get your vaccine done. The next one, we have a bunch of interesting webinars coming up. We have someone who is doing drone photography on landscape focused drone photography, who has been featured in National Geographic and almost in all international medias. Then we have someone who is using mobile for landscape photography. Then we have someone who is an expert in playing with light. Another one from India plus African side, some amazing moments. So for next month, it looked quite busy for me with some extremely talented artists. Now we will be keeping the posters coming one after one. Keep in track. Once again, my apologies for the delay. You all please take care, stay safe. Don't forget to take your vaccination till we catch it next time. You all please take care, stay safe. Bye bye.